All right. Go!
It's Parks.
Microphone check 1, 2. What is this?
Parks on the board.
Yes. Listen, I'm going to allow time for you guys to go ping your friends and get all of the bloggers and podcasters that thought we were down when it appeared that we were down and spread these lies and these false narratives that we conducted bad business. Boy, that was a topic for weeks.
But who cares?
I do.
Let them talk.
No.
We know what's happening.
No.
Have fun with perception.
No.
I'm cool.
And no. Nah. Enough of that.
Why? Well, no, go ahead. Keep your rant going.
Enough of it because it's happened. It's occurred for 5 years. Enough of it because it's occurred for 6 years. Enough of it because as head of creator equity, there's some things that we need to normalize. And this is one. We're not going to just skip right over this. Too many times, too many creators have made too much of an impact at too many companies without being able to participate in any upside.
That's not what my point. So
No,
yeah,
I'm not on your point.
yeah, okay.
I'm on a me point.
Because that's not what I was saying at all.
Well, tell me what you were saying before I get in the rant.
After. No, keep going.
That's just occurred way too many times. And I was coming in here for months and months and months. It's almost like the kid at school that dresses cool and has looked fly the whole year. I'm never saying that Joe looked fly at school the whole year. But when the kid that looks fly all year shows up to the prom without a date, just looking fly, guess what? Nobody cares. I seen you looking fly all year long. What is it that you about to do different? And see, for a while, for me, it felt like my words. You know what I mean? It's a lot of words. Y'all used to me coming in here ranting and raving and telling you what's wrong. And self-deprecation has become a thing on this podcast. It's helped us to greatness. And Savon don't want to tell y'all about how much he trusts me at the helm publicly. Alex don't neither.
They have to go to Patreon for our intervention that we did on there.
We did. It was a really good intervention.
Had a great episode on there.
And I appreciate you for that. That was fun. Maul, you missed that episode.
Yeah.
Good intervention.
But the point is, for so long, you come in here with these words, they watched us leave Spotify, right? And it just looked a certain way. And I couldn't come in here and refute some of the perception and some of the narratives that were going on because it's more talk. Why do it take for Patreon to give Joe this position? Like, why didn't this happen before? How could you be impactful in so many different places and raise market share in so many different places and just adhere to the broken monetization systems that are in place for creatives? Sorry, those days are over.
Real shit.
So, Mon, when you ask me what it means, I can't tell you what head of creator equity means because look up the word equity. Equity means equal, equality, fair, right? And I can't tell you what that means today because all of it is broke. It's all broken. I've been running around here saying, I've been telling every company that had ears, I've been telling every board member, every executive suite, this guy's best friend, this guy's right-hand man, anybody with ears, yo, I don't want any money. Another thing we need to normalize. What the fuck is in advance?
A
Bad loan.
A bank loan.
A bad bank.
Then let's not call it an advance. See, little shit like that, Maul. Like, it's just certain habits and practices and conditioning that's been normalized that now There's a company that agrees that the shit has been wrong. And not only do they agree that the shit has been wrong, they also happen to be paying you niggas the fucking highest payout possible for your creations. Don't ask me why Patreon is happening now. Go check your payouts on your streams. Go check your payouts where the videos are. Hey, you niggas not tired yet? Niggas ain't sleepy. Niggas ain't tired of getting the same result from doing the same fucking thing. It's boring. I want this to symbolize a shift in the thinking, and it's the shit that I've been saying here all along. Like, fam, the guard is changing, and creators have the leverage. And if y'all not going to treat us accordingly, then we're going to go and make our own decisions and do our own thing. And some of these platforms is going to have to get used to a whole community of people upping and leaving. Or you're just going to have to acknowledge who exactly is raising the market share around certain places. So I want to celebrate this because it is huge. It is huge. Dennis Rodman only ever cared about a board.
And these hoes.
Board first.
He missed the game. Get that Carmen pussy. Go on.
It's a whole lot. Hey, for Black History Month, Rory's being funny right now. Rory's really funny. So I don't want to step on Rory being funny. But for Black History Month, boy, it's a lot of those fake titles being thrown around. I know because I did it. I got the complex, gave myself a fake title, and them white niggas hated it. But they couldn't say a word. Know why? Was too successful. Got to Spotify, created a fucking title. I didn't even know that was the game in corporate. I never had no corporate job. They make titles up. They do shit. They make shit up.
All the time.
That's it. I mean, I didn't know. Nobody told me.
Yeah.
Got to Spotify, made up a fucking title. They couldn't say nothing. Was too successful. Got the revolt and got a title. That's a black dude. He should get it. This is a whole white dude. This is a whole white dude at a growing tech company trusting a young black creative to say, hey, let's work together on some things. Not just that, but a creator that started a fucking platform because he was getting shorted on the payout on his shit. So let me paint the picture a little bit clearer for the idiots that were talking a few months ago. We took some of Cash App and Bitcoin. They allowed it. Bitcoin in 2010 was worth, what, 9 cents, 38 cents, something like that, something stupid like that. 10 years later, it's at, what, 38 grand? You want me to come in here and tell you how my God always looks out for me? I could not imagine that this would be the place, the fucking state of the stock market. So if I go to Cash App and say, hey, niggas is doing real shit, we need a way to participate more. I need a way for 1 million to potentially turn to 5, 10, 15. And they grant it? Stop playing with me out here. Head of creator equity at Patreon? Do you know all the steps that had to happen for this to happen? Don't listen to this and say, oh, no, I see where Joe's coming from. No, the fuck you don't. You wasn't near year one of that Spotify deal where they offered niggas 15 million in a growing market and niggas had to say no. You know how much self-serving shit I walked away from? You wasn't there in year two when they said, hey, 21 mil and all your rights. You wasn't there when that next company came and said, hey, 30 mil for y'all and all y'all rights. Don't listen to me now and say, oh, nah, Joe, I see where you was going. You wouldn't have did it, nigga.
That's another thing.
You wouldn't have done it. And that be my point. I'm real responsible moving around with some of the decisions that I make because we set the bar. Don't let the jokes confuse you. Any decision that Joe makes potentially becomes the standard for any creator to follow. Why the fuck am I taking $30 million? What does it do for the wave that comes after me? Ping them niggas in here that was talking that shit. You might not see what's going on. Spotify undervalued niggas and 3 months later it was podcasts popping up every month. It ain't cheap. Stop playing with Joe out here. If Joe ain't showed you nothing else in 20 years, it's that Joe is an accurate digital forecaster. And then I know a little bit about what I'm doing. There's a staff for over 40 making this shit run around. I don't know what y'all been looking at jokes, and y'all been looking at, I don't know what niggas is paying attention to. Boy, did I want to say this a few months ago. Do y'all see what's happening? Now I should have took the sweater off.
Nah, give him dirty white people.
I'm just saying, when you meet somebody, right, that is the owner or head of a company valued the way that they are, and that person, why does it take another creator?
Full circle to what we were talking about with Motown, with Barry, and with Kevin Liles, and certain people that were creators and just great businessmen. It's a different mentality and a different type of executive. Him being one of those at Patreon.
But Rory, I told you I've been watching a lot of docs, right? I've been getting a lot of information. Actually, it's not even a doc. This is from One Night in Miami. Jim Brown goes to visit the owner of the team, or a shareholder, or somebody that was important. And boy, did they chop it up. They had a blast. The older white man expressed how important Jim Brown was to him, how much money he was betting on Jim Brown, how much he loved Jim Brown and his ability and what he was bringing and doing for the city and so forth and so on. And then dude's car had to get fixed in the back of the house, and Jim Brown went to help. And the dude said, you know you can't come in here. You know you can't come in the house. I'll fix it. And I love you out here working, but you can't come in the house. All of this stock shit going on that my parents is into and is forcing me to be into and go get some information. I don't think none of this shit could be coming at a greater time. Barry Gordy said, if you're not innovating, then you're stagnant. And I only highlight these things because for so long I've been dying to come in here and like talk to the podcast community about all the different steps you have to navigate to like kind of like land in the right place. Like all the no's that have to come before you get the yes. Like luminary, this company, that company. Like when you line things up, to not line your pockets up, but to align with your interests. Mm-hmm. And to align with your vision of what the future looks like. So while this wasn't planned this way, for me, boy, does it seem like poetic justice that you end up with a title on a platform that somehow has gotten the monetization as closest to together as we've seen. If you're on Patreon already, I encourage you to put more content on Patreon. If you're not on Patreon, I encourage you to get familiar, as we all are doing. And I highlight this stuff because as a budding, pardon me, as a budding podcast network, and I don't want to bore people with this stuff, but you hear all the growing concerns of like podcasters. And for me, it takes so much to try to convince people to not put their intellectual property places for free. We got a bag from Spotify, not because Spotify believed in us so much, but because we didn't put our shit on Spotify. We emailed them, yo, we got a podcast that's popping. They wasn't thinking nothing about that. We avoided that. We was trying to get on Google before Google had understanding of what podcast. Talking to YouTube, I'm like, yo, where's the podcast department? Hey. Y'all not equipped?
Right.
Like, does nobody see the wave that's coming is all. Our title talks like I'm down memory lane just with some of the things, as some of the decisions we've had to make as podcasters to protect the sanctity of what we do if we believe in it. And that's a question I'm always faced with, which is, if you believe in it, then what's the option? Like, if you believe in your shit, why not dump all your money into it? When you get a good hand in poker, you put all that shit to the table.
Right.
You push it straight to the middle. What we doing? I'm here. Risk. I mean, if we like what we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You confident?
We didn't put our podcast on tight. There's a bunch of places we just didn't put our shit, and they all called back.